Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Linux and More. I'm Richard L. Scott, the Black Christian Geek. Everything I say during this presentation is all self-sponsored. I'm not sponsored or paid by anybody. I'm self-sponsored. If you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and share it with others. We're getting ready to go into the Christmas holiday season, and I try and help people around this time every year pick or select a better system. But I was thinking this time around, you say, Richard, why are you always harping and pushing Linux? After 20 years of using Macs, I switched to the Linux platform. So I use Linux every day. This particular system is a system I was working on for a client that let me have the hardware when we were unable to restore the internal hard drive. What's my point? My point is I can give advisement on the best systems to buy. However, if you can't afford during this season to buy a new system, Linux can be a way to breathe new life into an older existing system. So I'm going to come down, I'll just come to system settings, come down to about this system to show you the one that I'm currently using. And this is what I recommend now. For many years, I recommended Linux Mint. But I'll say over the last 4 years, I switched from recommending Linux Mint to Kubuntu. Kubuntu is the KDE version of Ubuntu. That's as deep as I'll go for this video. I try to do a deep dive, better explaining all of that in another video, later video. But you see, Kubuntu 22.04. The short version of a much longer story is every 2 even years, 2004, and this is the year month of the release. Every 2 years, Canonical, the company behind Ubuntu, releases a LTS, long-term support release. That's one I recommend for most people, so they are getting updates for up to 5 years. This ties in to what I'm saying about this holiday shopping season. If you have a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old machine, even if it's an older Mac that you're unable to load the latest version of the Mac OS on, or the latest version of Windows on, perhaps it was running Windows 7, or your Windows 10 has just gotten slow, or even Windows 8 for the few people who are still running that. Linux is a viable alternative to use, and historically we've talked about putting Linux on older hardware. As you see here, this is fairly new and robust hardware. This is a Core i7 running at 1.8 gigahertz. So there are eight core processors, 12 gigs of RAM. But here's something I want to point out about this particular system. I inherited this system because I was trying to work on it to get it to work for someone who had dropped the system and it wouldn't start back up. And after several failed attempts, the internal hard drive no longer worked. Excuse me. So if you notice here, the product flash drive, this is 128 gigabyte removable flash drive, just like the one I'm holding here. The camera is unable to point down to see it, but I have it plugged into the side. So this entire system that I'm recording on as I speak is recorded, is being run on a USB flash drive that costs me less than $15 on Amazon. So what's your point, Richard? The point is Linux is powerful and robust enough that if you got older hardware, you could either build a Linux flash drive to test it, or you can build it like this one to run it on. And if you reach out to me, I'll leave my contact information in the links below. If you reach out to me through some of my contact channels, I'm happy to help you figure out how to create those drives. I'll make a point to make a video on those too. But the point is simply this: if you cannot or don't want to buy a new system during this holiday shopping season or any season of your life, Linux is always here as a viable alternative that you can install to run. And Kubuntu is the one that I currently recommend for people, the long-term service release. So since it's updated every 2 years and it's supported for 5 years, the next one will be coming out in 2404, and then I'll be recommending that one. But for right now, I recommend Kubuntu 22.04, which means it'll be supported until 2027. So that's plenty of time to put it on and work on any system. Again, this is Richard L. Scott, the Black Christian Geek with Linux and more. Hopefully you've heard something beneficial. If so, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. Thanks again for watching, and God bless.